Hey, vous autres? It's Dani. I hope y'all are doing well. I said, hey, y'all, if y'all wondering what I said. Anyway, we have a very expansive screen today, as you can see. It's because I had an idea. Have I done this before? No. So we're going to work it out together. But I thought it would be really fun because, as you can see, I have a whole bunch of stuff on my desk today. Because, number one, I wanted to show you. And number two, we're going to play around with something that I just want to try. So these are the Tarot and Oracle reprints down here at the bottom from Three Trees Tarot. We have Smoke, Ash, and Ember, Thistledown Oracle, and Oak, Ash, and Thorn. So check these new backs out. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? So these are the new backs here. The new backs here. Although I do love this fox. I actually have... I put a magnet on the back of it from my original copy, and I have it on my desk because I love the thistles. It's like my thing, so I do love that back. But this is freaking adorable. And Oak, Ash, and Thorn has the crows or ravens on the back. How gorgeous is that? So, oh, look, I got these in there. So... we have that change for the reprint, and then I'm going to show you these and then we're going to get to it. I just kind of want to show you the difference here. So these are prototypes. They're not rounded on the edges, but we also have a change in font, and our numbers are down at the bottom all together. So those are the changes for the reprint. I think the only other one that has a difference is, oh, this here. And then let me double check and make sure that they're not going to be borderless, because now I'm second guessing myself. But it would be really cool if they were set just like this, because it looks just like all the other ones. But let me double check before I lie to you. Okay, the font is different. Borders and text, okay, yes. So this is going to be set like this, that way it matches. That way everything kind of matches. All right. And a change to the hanged one. Okay, so just so we get all the little changes, but they're still pristine and beautiful, and I freaking love it. Okay, so those are the changes. So those are what we have. So here's what we're going to do with these lovely cards. Because I want this all to kind of look the same, we're going to use all the new ones. I'm going to round these edges for show, but we don't need to do that right now. What I want to do is I want to try, I'm going to air quote, a grand tableau with these three decks. Now, Thistledown is a little smaller, but I don't care. It doesn't matter, because this is an experiment. I just want to try, right? So here's my idea. And I got this in my Siren Song, the Kipper Lenormand combo deck that I have. Tony, the author, talks about taking a set number of, well, actually, she talks about shuffling them together, taking out 36 cards, and then making a tableau and just let it come out Lenormand Kipper as it will. What I want to do with this, because I thought it would, A, look cool, and B, I've never done it before. And so with these three decks that all kind of look the same but different, I just thought it would be fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle this deck one by one. I'll shuffle them each. Blindly pick 13 from each. Then I'm going to take those 13, I'm going to shuffle them, and I'm going to lay out a tableau. And we're going to see how it reads. I don't know how I'm going to read it. I don't know what I'm going to take from it. We're going to workshop this. Never done it before. Thought it would be cool. Want to try it. Want to try it. If you saw our last hot takes, Tony, I believe, has a new book coming out this month, next month, maybe next month. called the Tarot Tableau, which I think she does similar things, but like in a different way. So I don't know. I've never read it, and it's not out yet. But it got me thinking in all these same kind of terms. And I've been obsessed with Lenormand and Kipper right now. So, I mean, it's going to come through. Bear with me if I take those deep breaths. I'm not trying to annoy anyone. I'm not exasperated, but I do have a broken rib right now. So, it's just, sometimes I got to take a deep breath, okay? I just got to take a deep breath because I feel like I can't, I'm just shallow breathing. Because it hurts. Okay, it hurts. Anyway. All right. Allez, let's do this. Let's start with Oak, Ash, and Thorn. That bingo. I love it. Now, these are still in order, so I'm going to try to shuffle them as best I can. I'm going to cut them a few times. That way I make sure that it gets really shuffled, you know? All right. Let's pick 13. All right. Next. No, 12. Did I miscalculate? I said 13. It's 12. It's 12. I'm tripping. Take one back. I can math, okay? Not well, but I can math. It's fine. We got this. We're doing it. I know most of y'all are probably like, did you say 13? That's too many. Yes, it is. It's 12. But I caught myself before I got too far, right? Okay. These are just, I think, in alphabetical order, so I really don't, it doesn't have to be crazy. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Smoke, Ash, and Embers. Now look, I tried to set this up where we could see everything. I hope that we can. I finally figured out how to crop myself down so I don't have all the extra stuff behind trying to like fit myself in this screen. I got my camera up as high as I can. But this is a really big spread, right? Because tarot cards are bigger, it takes up a lot of space for 36 cards. And for those of you wondering why 36 cards, because that's usually what's in a Lenormand and Kipper deck. So I'm just basing it on that kind of Grand Tableau. No houses, just straight Grand Tableau. In this new way, a Tarot Oracle Grand Tableau. And I'm curious to see what comes up because we're going to have 2 tarot decks. Like, are we going to get the same? Interesting. See, I would probably do just like a tarot and an oracle. See how that comes out. But because I had all 3 of these, I was like, we're going to do all 3 because why not? Why wouldn't we? Why not? Okay. Let's cut this one more time. Do another shuff. And then pull our cards, okay? All right. $12. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Boom. Here we are. Now I'm going to take these and I'm going to put them all together. And I'm going to shuffle them. Now, you see, these are going to be shorter, but we don't care. Hunty, we don't care. We're going to do the best we can. So once we start getting them incorporated, it's going to be, I'm going to do this, easier to get them to shuffle. Stop. As they fall out of my hand. incorporated really well. This is hard. But I'm committed. I know it can be done. Okay. See, that's not too bad. It looks nice and incorporated. Let me take a breath. Take a drink of my Frankenstein matcha. And we'll get started on this tableau. Okay. We're going to turn them all upright. Let's see if I can set it right here. I might have to move me around. 2. Yeah. No. No. Me. One stop. All right. I gotcha. Here we go. Now we can pretty much see everything. All right. We can barely see the bottom. Shoot. Okay. Okay. Whoa. Let's see. We're just gonna, just so we can, I mean, at least try and see. There's a lot of cards to fit on here, okay? We're just trying to get the best we can. Your girl is trying. Bear with. Okay. That's a lot. And I banged stuff. Okay. So what do we have here? Okay, so number one, this looks really cool. Like, you can't lie. This looks really cool. First thing I'm noticing, look at that Judgment card in the center. Like, kind of upper center. This is what's catching my attention. Out of the whole thing, it's like, bam. We have light and dark with this figure kind of coming out of this plume of smoke, if you will. That caught me right away. Makes me feel like this is kind of where our stuff is centered on. Why not? I didn't set any intention. We're just going to play with this and see what we see. So that's the first thing I noticed. Now, I'm also seeing this, our black dragon here coming in. All these swords are really catching my attention on this side. Directionality. So, other things just that I'm taking a look at right now. Our hair up here for balance is definitely looking back here. But we have the High Priestess looking right back at it. Like, boom, boom. What's going on between here? Right? There seems to be some sort of cycle going around this 5. Any other directionalities? Kind of, oh, this Queen of Cups staring down at this Queen of Pentacles right here. Literally, this card says look up. To the 6 of Swords, which is another bird. Interesting, right? Okay. Patience is staring in at this 9 of Swords. Patience with the anxieties, the nightmares that we're dealing with. Also looking down with this bravery to this patience and this 9 of Swords. It's going to take a lot of bravery, a lot of patience to get through these things that are bothering us. So I'm noticing there's something going on right here. Now, while not a signifying card, like, you know, in Lenormand or Kipper, we have like a man, a woman, whatever, that we kind of hone in on. Those are our signifying cards. But we do have the Fool here. And he's looking out at the very end, bottom end of our spread with the Page of Wands, very young energy looking out. Interesting. Do we have any at a glance, do we have any repeating tarot? The World, the High Priestess, King of Cups, Knight of Cups, Ace of Swords, Five of Wands, Page of Swords, Judgment, King of Cups. Oh, we have two King of Cups, one on top of the other. Both looking in two different directions. One is making space here down at the bottom. One is with this warmth, which also has the heart, kind of looking in with this High Priestess. Okay? Cool. Okay. So we do have that. That's doubled. Five of Cups. Temperance. Eight of Pentacles, Six of Swords. Queen of Cups. 9. King of Wands. We don't have another King of Wands, no. The Sun, Queen of Pentacles, the Moon, Ace of Wands. Okay, so that's the only thing that we have doubled, are those two King of Cups. Okay? Interesting. Majors, we have the World, we have the High Priestess, we have Temperance, the Moon, and the Fool. Awesome. Okay. Just making note. So, just sitting here taking that in, just kind of seeing what we got going on before I like start to maybe like try and see how I would want to read something like this. Okay. At first glance, just looking over it, talking those kind of things out, oops, makes me feel like I am making so much noise. Holy shit, guys. Okay. I'm feeling like literally our center, boom, boom, feels important. Like what we have here is before and what we have here is after. Because of this Judgment card, that really tells me that. Because when we think of judgment in the way that, like in an, almost like, I guess you would call like an alchemical way, where it's like, this judgment is like, once you move forward, once you know something, once you create something new, you can't undo it, right? This is a pivotal moment moving forward. Once you go, you can't go back. Once you know something, you can't unknow it. Once you create, like, I love the idea, when I did a really deep study of justice, not justice, listen to me, judgment. When I did a really deep dive on judgment, something really stuck in my head, and that was the idea of like creating life, right? Once you make a person, once you have a child, you can't pull it apart, right? My DNA, their DNA have mixed together to create a whole new human. That cannot be undone. That cannot be undone. It is what it is. There is no going back. Right? Once that has been created, you can't separate it. You can't like, oh, I don't want my dad's DNA. Throw that in the trash. You can't do that. It is done. That is a pivotal moment. There's only forward. There is no going back. That's what this feels like for me. So what has happened before versus what is going to happen is kind of the feeling that I'm getting, right? I'm also feeling, like I said, I feel like this is kind of clustering, but I also feel that this is kind of clustering to me, which is interesting. I'm not really feeling that here. This almost feels like kind of straight line energy. Almost like all of this is kind of straight line energy. I think it could be read in so many different ways, if I'm being honest. So I think what I'm going to do to read this is, okay, because of that judgment, right? Why don't we think about, if this was a person sitting in front of me saying, you know, like, I I have a decision to make, but it's going to be a life-changing decision. What do I need to know? Right? What do I need to know? So let's talk about this right here. So I want to kind of come in from this side, which is kind of right above, like kind of what's on the mind, kind of what needs to know. Because of this Judgment card being way at the top, because I'm going to use this as our signifier because that's what sparked me. I'm going to also use this Fool as kind of like another touching point, and I'm going to note that these two are looking out. They're back to back. So there's going to be a lot of new stuff starting. And a lot of things to deal with because all of this is on top of that Fool. Okay, so for this reading, those are going to be my two cards that I'm signifying. Okay, so I'm starting there. Okay, so what's going on above this, especially back here, is where I'm going to go with it. What's in front of this card, in front of this change? Because I know I said like this feels like coming back, coming forward, but our Judgment is looking this way, right? So I feel like this might be what's happening because it's looking to this. This might be the past because it's looking here. Whereas this is forward. All of this is behind for this character. This is some Kipper stuff. Whatever's in front is literally what the character is looking towards. That's in front. Whatever's behind their back are literally what's behind them. So I'm going to go with that kind of read for this. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, because I did say this seems like behind, this seems like forward. But looking at my character, that's kind of different on the top aspect. But that way down at the bottom here with our Fool. Okay? But I want to note where we're going. We're way deep down at the end. There's a lot of stuff to think about. And there's a lot of stuff that has happened. Right? To lead up to this point. Okay? So I want to start with kind of where we're headed. Because that's where we're looking at right here. So we have the world way over here at the tip. So something is definitely coming to an end. Right? We need to complete something in order for this to really succeed. We have an even balance of kind of what might be more challenging versus what's going to be a lot easier. Again, our High Priestess is looking forward to this warmth of this King of Cups. And noting that these are both the King of Cups makes me feel like this is kind of it's in your thoughts, but it's also in your reality right now. So whoever this King of Cups is in your life right now, okay, they're going to be a pivotal person to kind of look towards to get to where you want to go, because they're literally right next to the Ten of Cups, okay? So follow your instincts when it comes to this person. They do hold what you need. All this warmth. They are going to help you get to this next stage, right? Through this King of Cups, we have the Ten of Cups. I feel like that's where you're trying to get to, but you do have to go through this Five of Cups, and there's this community kind of looking outward here. So I feel like maybe not so much worrying about what everybody else thinks. This is more of an internal thing that this King of Cups is going to help you get through. So whatever you're changing, whatever you're doing, follow those instincts. Look to that King of Cups to really help you through. You don't need everyone's approval, right? You just need the right kind of support to get you there, okay? Please note, this is going to be very pinpointed because I'm already 30 minutes in almost. So again, we're just playing. This is just like maybe I would read it this way. Because I have no direction, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done it this way with this kind of deck before. We're just playing. So just follow along. If you think it's cool, do it yourself. I want to see. Or if someone else has done it and I just never saw it, tag me. I want to know. Anyway. So from here, I want to go back here. Okay? I want to go back here. I love how this Knight of Cups is kind of coming in and gifting something, it seems, to that King of Cups, because we have this little acorn here, and then it's here as well. And I know that we're in the cup suit, but reading it this way makes me feel like he has gathered and handed something to it. So there's multiple people that are going to be able to help you through this transition. But again, you need to find the right one for the right task. You don't need everyone's approval. You need the right people's approval. And I think that this Knight of Cups is really trying to give his all and really trying to help. And it's going to be a pivotal point, like almost like him coming bring news to the King of Cups, who can then help you through this whole task, right? So it's going to be a bit of gathering, but we're going to get to that space. So what's going to be a little bit harder in this movement forward, in this transition that you're going through, we do have these swords that are popping up. And again, I feel like this sort of bears down on that Fool, okay? Because that's where that Nine of Swords, where I talked about right at the beginning, is. So let's see what we have right here. We have the Ace of Swords, the Five of Wands, the Three of Swords, balance, bravery, shelter, Page of Swords, and resourcefulness. So I just feel like it's going to be a rough path. Again, we talked about grief. There's going to be some sort of healing going on in order to do this transition, and it's not always going to be easy. There's going to be conflicts going on. There's going to be things that need to be put into balance, and it's really going to take some oomph to do that. Again, hence the reason we need this community of the right people around us. Not everyone is going to be that. And I think we're going to be able to see those personalities come out and really know who's on our side and who's not. All this nitpicky, kind of BS that's going on, we don't need that. That's only causing more problems. It's bringing up the past. We're trying to move forward from that. So we're really going to have to kind of clean out the people that we have around us. And it's going to take some spunk to do that. And this resourcefulness is really, look. Ha, ha, ha. This is why I thought it would be fun. Because this is the Oracle deck. But we still have the Acorn. And it's literally handing it to it. Like, we have this little thing going on right here. Learning from all this, we're going to be able to hand that knowledge. Right? Like, there is something being handed here. So pay attention to where your emotions are flowing. Because again, this High Priestess kind of getting to this world, this High Priestess looking forward, she's seeing all this. Follow your instincts through everything that's going on. You are being handed the answers. You just need to watch. You need to see who's doing these things. You need to see how they're doing it. Watch what they do, not just what they say. This is going to be coming from the gut feeling. Okay? Let's move down here. I'm trying to move it along because I could probably sit here for hours. Okay. So what's underneath this judgment kind of really feels like something that you're going to be able to have under control, right? But when it comes to this new thing, this is going to be a lot. So all of this stuff is kind of bearing down. I'm going to come here next because I want to talk about what's bearing down, because we did just talk about what's going to be difficult. So let's continue that, and then we'll talk about things kind of leading up behind. Again, this is going to be kind of a process, it seems. That's what we're going to call it. That's how we're going to view it. So with all this, okay, there's a lot of anxiety going on here. We have a decision that's next to patience. Bravery is right on top of this Nine of Swords, but this patience and this Fool doesn't always go together. The Fool doesn't really have patience. It's just like a do most of the time. And it's really saying, hey, we have to kind of pause. I find it interesting too that our decision with this Fool is also a Deer, but it is more matured, where the decision comes in. So I think there's a want to take this big risk and take this big leap, but I think there's too much at stake to just dive right into it. It's right here by the Page of Wands. It's really trying to do that, but the Page of Wands is looking up to this Nine of Swords, telling me that as much as we want to dive in and go off and do our own thing, we're right at the end of this spread. This Page of Wands really wants to get started, really wants to do, but there's a lot of anxiety. Again, it's almost like a little circle right here. And what we need to get to is this King of Wands. We need to mature fully. So we have this Fool that we need to have the patience. There is a lot of anxiety. You can't expect yourself to to just snap out of something. There's obviously some kind of emotional and drama and hiccups here. There's conflicts and there's pain and there's grief that we've talked about. This is not a snap your fingers and do it. This is a process. Decisions will need to be made, right? There needs to be a maturing here. So I'm going to kind of go backwards from here and talk about this Queen of Cups. Okay, again, we have someone that has that intuitive nature, right? And again, she's kind of butting up, kind of cat-a-corner to this Judgment, where it's like it's not quite in control, where she's in front. This High Priestess is really in control, but I think this is where you're headed to. Right now, that Queen of Cups energy is right behind, but look how close. Look how close. You're starting to trust yourself. You got those acorns. They're just not open. You got your acorn. It's just not open. Okay? It's not open. So you're looking towards it. You're stepping in there. Again, it's going to take time. But she's looking down at this Queen of Pentacles that's really about nurturing where you are, and that's moving forward here. Now, behind this Fool wants to go and dive in, but you can't. This is why. Okay? It's behind its back. This is why. You have to work on this. You can't just dive in. You have to work on this stuff. So, having this kind of cat-a-corner, it's like you need to nurture this inner vibe, right? Your intuition. You need to listen to your emotions. Use it with a grounded attitude, though, because we do have that Queen of Pentacles who is a little more practical, right? So there's a blend of trust in yourself, but stay grounded in this. We're not flying off the handle. We're not fooling it. We're maturing in this. We're maturing in this. The Sun kind of coming in feels like that authenticity is going to come up to meet this Fool. And where normally you would just kind of spring off and just do and, forget the consequences, I feel like the Sun is bringing it in, saying, no, you have to have that authenticity first. You have to know where you're going first. You can't just sprint off into the great unknown. Right now, you need a plan. You need to know where you're going. You need to know who you are, and you need to know who your friends are. We talked about that. You need to know what's happening. You need to see authentically what's happening, vulnerable or not. And that's going to help alleviate, I think, some of this fear that's kind of lingering in front and like right on top of that Fool. So kind of moving this way, let's see what we have. This looking up from the Six of Swords and this Eight of Pentacles, again, is kind of, and with this making space. Okay, so these kind of clusters are kind of talking to me here, kind of making space for the time and energy it's going to take to put these things into practice, to really try. You got to go one step at a time, right? Because if not, you're going to start trying to move forward and you're going to bring the old stuff with you. It's just going to follow you, right? It is just going to follow you. You have to deal with it. You have to learn how to deal with it in order to confidently move forward. This can't be something that you put in the back of your head and you like pretend is not there, or just like la 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 la, I'm just going to go on with my life and I'm not going to wrap this up. No, the point is to wrap it up. We have the world. The point is to wrap it up. All these things lingering and hanging down, you don't want that. You don't need that. Okay? This is something you will have to wrap up. It's going to take time. Again, we have that making space. We have these decisions. We have this patience. It's going to take time. We're not snapping our fingers. Stop trying to. Go through it to get through it. Handle your business. Wrap it up. Put up your boundaries. Trust yourself. Do the work. Period. Okay? Because these feel kind of a little clustered together. This safety feels like having that at the bottom and having all this stuff coming in on top of it just feels like that's what you really need right now, but it feels like it's being lost a bit in the shuffle. You're trying to make things better, but you don't feel like you're in a safe space to do so. Again, that's about putting these things in and taking the time and doing what you need to do, because you need to be in a space where you feel confident enough to get these things done. That's not always easy. Sometimes you have to make your own space. You know? You have to make your own space. And I love that temperance is really close to this. There does feel like a swooping energy because, again, this looks like the same. I want to show you this. This is so cool with these different decks coming in because look, that looks like our same dragon. Again, matured. Finding that space. This is the Ace of Wands, right? This is the Ace of Wands. Figuring it all out. New ways of doing stuff. We have the moon. It's trying to uncover this because we have two fire. I'm going to say two fire elements because I feel like this is our same Ace of Wands dragon. This is still our fire dragon, right? So we have these lights on either side of this beautiful little moon who again is tucked in safely. Okay? So I feel like it's trying to gain that space. And I feel like those fire elements on the side of that moon is really trying to illuminate. So thinking about the moon growing, what are we learning from what we're going through? We don't know the outcome. This is the journey. And I think that's important. We started out by this is a transformation. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. But it's not about it's not about getting there. It's about how you get there in this particular instance. Right? It's not having that mind and just go, go, go to that goal. It's really spreading out and trying to see what's actually happening and do some actual growth along the way by finishing up the things that we need to finish up. Putting a period on the end of relationships, situations, cycles. We have to put a period on the end of that. So we're illuminating these things that maybe we've been hiding from. And that's going to be important. That creates the safe space because you're actually taking charge. And that's really important. This temperance and moving forward is where I'm going to kind of wrap this up right now. Because this temperance and moving forward really shows the balance that has to happen. That, again, I'm thinking alchemy. I'm back to alchemy here, right? Where with temperance, it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. We're maintaining a balance. We are trying to find that recipe, right? And in doing so, we do have to move forward. We do have to move on. We have to pack up some areas of our life and leave them behind. And we have to maybe pack up some of our areas in life and move them somewhere else, right? So there's like different things that need to happen, different ways of doing stuff, right? But all in all, wrap it up. We got somewhere else to be. You're either coming or you're not. I either want you with me or I don't. Maybe I want you to know where I'm at, but I don't want you to come with me all the time. I want you to come visit, right? We're setting those boundaries, figuring it all out, moving forward. We're not going to jump into it. We're going to allow it to develop. And when we come out on the other side, having completed what we needed, we are totally different. We are up and above and confident. Right? We have a little more maturity than that fool. We did it the right way this time. Right? How fun was that? Y'all, this was so much fun. And like, there's so many different ways that I could have read this. Like, some people start, just going row by row by row, breaking it down full section by full section. Because this is tarot and oracle, I just wanted to play and see where it took me. What am I seeing? Just intuitively, and then mixing in those tarot meanings. Watching the directionality. Watching the different things that I use in other forms of divination. This was cool, man. This is definitely something that I want to kind of develop this. Because this was fun. And I feel like something like this is really open, like really gives a good, even scope of what's happening, right? There's so many different ways, because if somebody had a question about, like, I don't know, this safety, like, Well, how do I find it? Where do I find it? I would go over here to shelter and I would look what's around it. Okay, maybe you have somebody that you need to look towards to kind of help you find this safe space, because right above it you have someone with a broken heart, balance. We have this page of swords in here, okay? Patience, decision, nine of swords. Okay, so we need to handle up on this area. Again, you need some help in this. You need someone that's willing to protect and fight for you and with you in order to get to this safe space. So I would say how to find this is to clear this area up. And visually, we can see this dark dragon coming in, talking some mad smack, bringing some heavy stuff down here, right? So I would have looked to shelter and talked about that. Oh, what do I need to, what kind of skills do I need? I would go to the Eight of Pentacles. What skills do you need? You need maybe a little more emotional maturity going in on this. You need more time and space. So you actually need to, hone in on listening to yourself and kind of kicking all those other voices out, finding out what you want personally. Having that stability, nurturing what you're doing, nurturing yourself through this. And looking forward, but leaving those old things behind, not taking these things with you. Again, you can pinpoint and kind of look around and kind of see what you're going. It depends on what you're asking, and as usual. But even in in a spread like this, if someone, especially in person, or a live reading is just like, what about this? What about this? I can go and I can find something that's kind of like, oh well, this card kind of means this, so let's look around here and see kind of what we can gain from this, or look in this row, right? Eight of Pentacles, let's look forward over here, let's look backwards over here, or let's see what's on top, what's underneath. Like, again, there's so many ways to read it, but I think that this would be a very versatile way to use the tarot with an oracle, or with like multiple tarots, so you can see kind of where things are coming up. Like, I don't know, I've never done anything like this before with tarot and oracle, and this was just so much fun, especially with these three decks, because each one ties into the other. We have the dragons and all of the wildlife from both decks. Like, again, both of our dragons showed up here. Our acorns are all over the place, right? I can follow those acorns. I follow these deer back and forth, So interesting. So interesting. We have our cluster of water dragons here. So cool. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about this. Was that a whole bunch of mess? Did you enjoy it? I would love to know. I would love to know. Because now I'm intrigued. I'm like hyped up about it. Like, who can I con into sitting across from me so we can play with this? I have some people in mind. Anyway, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this rambling video and a look at the new reprints of Three Trees Tarot. I want to say it fast and I always screw it up. Three Trees Tarot for Oak Ash and Thorn, Thistledown, and Smoke Ash and Ember. I love this little world that they've created. It's so cute. Anyway, I'll have that all linked down below. I think we're still in pre-order status right now, which is super fun. So I'm going to link all that down below if you guys are interested in these decks. And all my stuff is going to be down below if you're interested in that. As usual, y'all know I make some decks. Those are down there as well. I do readings. That's down there as well. Sometimes I make random stuff. My Etsy shop's down there as well. Y'all know how to get to it. It's all good. All right, vous autres. I'm going to see y'all later, Sha. I love you guys. Later, Gators.